So this is my audience. It's your senior year of high school and you've just received your brand new yearbook. You're flipping through it with your friends, looking at all the memories you've made, counting how many pictures you're in, and looking at who won most likely to succeed or best hair. You spend the next week making sure to pass your yearbook around to as many of your friends, classmates, and teachers as possible. This is also the time when you begin to stress about what to write in everyone else's books. Should you go with the generic "have a good summer" or "good luck in college"? Or should you write something a little more meaningful? Try to come up with a funny anecdote. Skip ahead 10 or 15 years later. You're married and you have kids now. Those kids are digging around in the basement and they come across a book titled Holly High School, Class of 2017. "What's this?" they ask. You tell them it's your yearbook as they start flipping through the pages. They look at you with a blank stare, having no idea what a yearbook is. It's hard to imagine for many of us a world without yearbooks becoming a reality. However, I fear this reality will soon come. We live today in a world of modern technology. The importance of handheld books is becoming obsolete with so much reliance on the internet. According to an article in the Wall Street Journal, certain aspects of our yearbooks are already beginning to disappear. There has been a long-standing tradition to put senior superlatives in the yearbooks, such as class clown and most likely to succeed. According to this article, only 25% of high school yearbooks are still including the most likely to succeed category, as there is a fear it puts too much pressure on the nominees. I fear that soon many more superlative categories will disappear until the tradition is gone entirely. In my own high school, they have already gotten rid of the cutest couple category because it seemed to put a curse on and ruin every winning relationship. According to McClatchy.com, college students are becoming increasingly disinterested in yearbooks. A few years ago, at the University of Texas, which has an enrollment of over 50,000 students, only 60 students showed up to take their pictures. Personally, I cannot imagine not having this sort of record from my childhood to be able to show my kids and look back on those memories and read what everyone wrote to me. My yearbook will be something I treasure forever and never throw out, for I'll want to have that piece of my past to share with my future. So I guess what I'm saying to you now is to fight to keep yearbooks alive. Continue to make memories and treasure them. As someone that just recently graduated from high school, I know what many of you are thinking. High school was the worst years of my life. Why would I want to remember it? Or maybe you're saying, I want to buy a yearbook, but I just can't swing the $65 or so to purchase one. Well, everyone, you're in luck because I have answers to those problems. We will start with the concern about cost. Having just recently paid $65 myself for my high school yearbook, I am fully aware of how expensive they can be. According to John Platts, CEO of Yearbook Life, the estimated cost of a yearbook is $65 to well over $100. In many schools, Platts has found that the high costs are shutting out students with limited means. He recently visited a high school of 3,000 students, having only purchased 700 yearbooks. According to researchers at treering.com, the cost of yearbooks is also hurting the schools, leaving them with a significant amount of debt. Most publishers require schools to commit to a set number of books at the beginning of the year before anyone has purchased them. If not all the books are sold, the school is left to pay that deficit. So how can we fix this? How can we lower the cost of the books? For this, we have a couple of options. TreeRing offers the solution of on-demand printing. This means that rather than schools having to order a set number of books in advance, they can wait until a few weeks before the end of the year to make their order. This eliminates the risk of leftover books and extra cost. As students, we can bring this to the attention of those in charge of ordering the books and therefore reduce the cost for the students to purchase the books. Other options for taking action and lowering the cost can be organizing fundraisers, creating petitions, and writing to yearbook companies. These actions have the ability to get you and your classmates involved in working together. It can bring issues into the light rather than just giving up on yearbooks altogether. Now, another issue we face is the number of you that just have no interest in buying a yearbook, no matter the cost. While some people choose to buy a yearbook for each year of schooling, I was one of those students that didn't really care to have any yearbooks other than the one from my senior year. It was my final year in the school I grew up in, and I wanted a way to remember those memories I had made. Now I know I'm not going to convince all of you to buy a yearbook if you really have no interest in it. But if you are someone that is going back and forth on the topic, I'm hoping to help you lean towards getting one. For many, the lack of interest in purchasing a yearbook is because they either know or fear that their picture will not be in it enough to be worth buying. I know from experience, having worked on the one in my high school for a few years, that yearbook committees are often lacking in members, especially new ones from year to year. So if you want to make sure that you are in the book, join the committee. This way, you can not only ensure you'll see your picture, but you'll also have a say in what the book will look like. Being on this committee, there is also a chance that you can get your yearbook for either free or at a discounted price. If you aren't interested in joining the yearbook committee, try to become more involved in other activities at school. There are plenty of photo opportunities to become a part of, especially at sporting events and during homecoming week. Join a sport and participate in more activities at your school, and you may just find that your picture showing up more and more in the yearbook, making it a worthwhile purchase full of memories. While I'm trying to convince you to buy a yearbook, there are many people that already have done so. In doing research for this speech, I found that the popular question about yearbooks is, what do I do with them? People who purchased high school and college yearbooks who are now adults are beginning to get rid of them. According to unclutterer.com, people are beginning to throw their yearbooks straight into the recycling bin. To me, this is like throwing away a piece of your past and completely disregarding any memories you have made. I understand wanting to declutter, but there are ways to do so that don't involve throwing your book away like a piece of trash. Personally, there are many things I would get rid of before my yearbook, such as magazines, old clothes, and other old knickknacks. Some people still do choose to get rid of their yearbooks, either choosing to give them to a fellow classmate, scan the pictures they like onto their computer, or cut out pictures and make a scrapbook. Though these are all better options than throwing the book away, your best choice is not to get rid of the book at all. It is a handheld keepsake. It is an irreplaceable book of memories that should be kept and shared with generations, not considered a hassle. One of my favorite things to do is flip through my parents' old yearbooks or old photo albums and see how times have changed. I cannot imagine not having this experience to share with my own future children. So now let's rewind back to the beginning of the speech. Remember when your kids found your yearbooks in the basement? Now imagine that instead of them saying, "What's this?" they run upstairs and find their own yearbook, and you sit together for hours, flipping through the books together, comparing the times, and sharing memories and stories. Isn't that a moment you want to experience? I know I do. So if you're still unsure of whether or not to buy a yearbook, think about what you'll miss not having one. A lifetime of memories. I hope that I have convinced at least some of you here today to either get a yearbook or refrain from getting rid of yours. Together, we can keep yearbooks alive. Thank you.